Another powerful feature of the AEM Chrome extension. So once when you have your AEM Chrome extension configured with the correct website configurations, then you can use this feature where you can switch the context from dispatcher URLs to author URLs, or you can switch back from author URLs to dispatcher URLs. So the use case for this scenario is that, say for example, the business has created some Jira tickets on some issues on components and you have to debug it, or maybe the content authors have to make some changes to that particular page. So instead of, you know, going into your AEM author environment and traversing through the content tree to find that page, now you can actually just click on that dispatcher link and then you can use the Chrome extension to change the context into production author edit mode or stage author edit mode, develop author, or local author. And once when you're inside those environments, you make the change, right? And then later you publish the changes, and then now you can use the Chrome extension to change the context back into dispatcher, production, preview, stage, or dev. Or if you're on or if you're debugging some issue on staging and you want to compare it quickly to take a look at how the production website looks like, you can jump from the staging dispatcher URL all the way back into the dispatcher production URL. So you can do a lot of mix and matches. If you look at the lines here, you can see that the dispatcher for production websites, you can change it into any of these author environments. And then once we're in any of these author environments, you can switch back out to any of these dispatcher environments. So if you look at the configuration here, once when you have your AEM Chrome extension configured with the correct sites configuration, every time when you go to a dispatcher URL, you're going to see the Chrome extension render these specific new badges. And these badges actually indicate that whenever you click on one of these buttons, it will actually change the context to the production author. And in this case, given that we went through the foundations of the tool, any of these bookmarks, whenever you see this check mark, when you click on one of these links, for example, like when you click on S or Shift S on your keyboard or Shift A on your keyboard, clicking on this button will take you to the site's homepage for the production author. Clicking on assets will take you to the assets homepage for the production author, and the experience fragments will take you to experience fragments, and then templates to templates, and then projects to projects. Now, if you click on the dynamic convert current page to prod cloud author, what's going to happen is that if you click on this button, it's going to take you to the Touch UI production author. And then if you click on S on your keyboard, or maybe if you click on this button, that'll take you to the site structure for that current page, so you can actually see where you're at. Okay. So at any point, if you're on your production website, you can change the mode to stage, development, or local, depending on how you configured your AEM Chrome extension. But in this case, if I change it to staging, that the badges would change the color, and then you can actually see how the configurations would move to stage cloud author. So anytime when you click on any of these links, now it's going to convert the context to your dispatcher production page into the stage author environment. And at the same time, this tool is enabled for all environments. So what that means is that if you're on production, stage, preview, or if you're on your local environment, whenever you switch the context, you can actually jump back into the different environments for the author. And finally, with this feature, now there's also a dispatcher switcher, which means that if you are currently editing your page, and once when you publish the page, typically what you have to do is that maybe you have to make a quick Google search to find that production page just to see if your changes are in there, or you have to click through the website, which takes time. So now directly when you are editing a page, you can jump from that current authoring page directly into the dispatcher prod, dispatcher stage, or dispatcher development. And there's one more use case for this is say, for example, your production website, you might have a broken user experience and you want to quickly see how it looks like on stage. So from the dispatcher website, you can actually just click on the drop down menu and then you click on stage, and that'll take you directly to the stage dispatcher URL. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into the demo. So here I'm on the weekend site page, and I have my AEM Chrome extension configured as expected. So from here, when I click on the Chrome extension, you can actually see that it says convert current page to prod cloud author. So that means that if I click on any of these buttons, it will actually take me to the cloud author environment for production. So given that you guys have already watched the bookmarks video, which tells you that when you click on any of these buttons, it will take you to the site's homepage, assets homepage, experience fragments homepage, templates homepage, and project homepage. If I click on any of these buttons, it will just take me directly to the production pages for that page itself. So say if I click on this right here, that would take me to the site's homepage. Right, I'll press back. The magic comes from here, or the powerful features are enabled in the dynamic convert to current page to, because if I click on the touch UI button, this actually takes me directly from the production dispatcher URL all the way inside of my production author environment. So before, what you would need to do is that I'll press back. The old ways of getting to this page is that you would have to first go and click into your bookmarks, which would probably take you into your site's structure. And then from your site structure, you have to nail down that page, which is I'm in US EN Adventures. And maybe sometimes your pages are, way more deeper than what you're trying to find. So from here, I have to go into my environments, and then later I find the page and I press edit. And that's just taken a bit of time for you to even find that page. So if you want to be more productive, what you can do is that, directly from your production page, you can actually click on the Chrome extension and you just click on this button, or click on E on your keyboard if you want to be a power user, and that'll take you directly to the author edit page. And most of the times, we want to not make configurations on the production page. So then we would actually click on the Chrome extension, and we want to actually move to another environment. In this case, I'll move into stage environment from here. So I can actually click on the author switcher and then click on stage, and this will take me to the stage environment. Okay, there's another video about the author switcher in the YouTube playlist, but in this case, I'll just go back to production author. So, okay, so back to the dispatcher switcher. So from here, what I can do is that if I want to view this production page inside of staging, I can actually click on the Chrome extension. I'll click on dispatcher URL, and if I click on staging, I'll go directly from the production author now to the staging URL with the correct dispatcher URL that you see here. And then in this case, okay, let's go back to the production page. So sometimes, like, even when you're testing, when content authors just tries to walk around or navigate around to staging web pages, and they want to, maybe analyze and identify what's the difference between staging and production. So instead of playing around with the URLs inside of the URL bar, what you can do is that you can just click on the Chrome extension, click on the dispatcher switcher, and now you can switch it back to prod. And now you can actually compare pages in your staging environment and in your prod environment. And obviously, what we want to do is that occasionally we would like to sync the content from your production to your staging to your development, so then they have all the same content structure. So that's why whenever you're changing the dispatcher URLs to the different environments, if you actually synced the content, that's why everything should be working as expected. And using these features allows you to debug and be able to content author quicker and get to and change environments, right? Okay, so now this is another example here where let's click on the Chrome extension, and now from the production page, I would like to go directly to staging. So I will click on this button here to change the mode to staging, and now you can see that all the indicators and the badges now change to tell you that converting the current page of any of these buttons would actually take you to staging. So if I click on E on my keyboard, or if I click on this button right here, you can actually see that I'm actually directed to my staging authoring environment. So from here, I can actually review what has been configured or compare production to staging just to see what the issues are. And then in this case, from here, if I make the changes, I'll publish the changes. If we want to go back to staging, staging dispatcher, I can just click on this button, and in this case, I'm back to staging in dispatcher. And if I want to change the staging dispatcher to production, I can just click on the drop down, and now in this case, I'm back to production. So that's why this feature is so powerful, because it allows you to change through different contexts really fast. And all these other convert pages are working as expected too. So if I want to change or convert this page to disable mode, I can just, I'll go to production because I want to see how this looks like on disable mode in my author environment in production. So I'll change the mode back to production, and then later I'll click on the disable mode button, or I'll click on D on my keyboard. Click on D on my keyboard. Now I'm inside of the AEM environment, as you can see here. Once when I'm inside my author environment, you realize that all those badges are not here anymore, because now this context is just switched back to this context window. So say, for example, if I want to see the site structure of this current website, I can just click on this site structure button, and it will take me to the site structure of the current page that I was trying to edit. And in this case, I can navigate through these items. And there are times that content authors want to see this page, how it looks like in dispatcher. So what they would usually do is that they would try to find this page maybe on Google, or maybe they might have to navigate through the website to find this page. As you can see, it's pretty deep and complicated. So instead of that, you don't click on the checkbox, but you actually click on these items itself, and you can actually see that the URL changes. And once the URL changes here, now you can switch the dispatcher back to production, and that would actually map it as expected. But all this works is based on the AEM Chrome extension configuration. So if you configure it properly, all of this stuff that I'm showing you is actually going to be working as expected. Okay, so there's one more last feature for this dispatcher URLs to author switcher, and it's pretty much hotkeys. Because if you want to be a power user, you got to be, you have to be, how would I say this? Confident in using hotkeys, because that's going to allow you to move even faster. So clicking on one on your keyboard would change the mode to production, which change everything to green. 2, it's going to change your mode to staging, which everything turns purple. 3 is going to change it to development mode, which is in gray, and then 4 is going to be local, which is in orange. So let's just quickly go to the demo. So from here, what I can do is I'll press 1 for production, 2 for stage, 3 for dev, and 4 for local. So now if I press 1 and then I press E, 1 and E takes me to the production edit environment. And then from here, I can actually go back into production using the switcher. And then given that I'm on a weekend site, if I want to make any changes on the dev environment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press 3 and then I'll press E. And in this case, it will take me to the development environments. And here I can make changes here as well. If I want to move from development author back into production, I can just click on dispatcher URL and then click on prod. And this would take me back to prod. So in a nutshell, this is a really powerful feature in my opinion. And this is how I save a lot of time navigating through AEM whenever there is an issue that is raised by the business. And thanks for watching.